Anthony Bennett. Just hearing that name probably makes Cavs fans twitch a little. June 27, 2013, draft night. Cleveland had the first pick and the whole basketball world was waiting. Was it going to be Nerlens Noel? Maybe Otter Porter? Nope. The Cavs stunned everyone when they took Bennett. Even draft analysts looked frozen on live TV. Bennett's college resume wasn't exactly screaming top pick. Sure, he put up decent numbers at UNLV, 16 points and 8 rebounds, but injuries and inconsistencies were already part of the conversation. When the Cavs called his name first overall, jaws dropped. And unfortunately, the disaster started immediately. Bennett's rookie season was flat out brutal. He averaged just 4.2 points and 3 rebounds, shot under 36% from the field, and honestly looked lost most nights. By year 2, he was already getting shipped out of Cleveland in a trade that felt more like a salary dump than a fresh start. Injuries didn't help, but Bennett just never looked NBA ready. Darko Milicic. He might have the most awkward spot in the NBA draft history. June 26, 2003, Detroit held the number 2 pick in one of the deepest drafts ever. LeBron went number 1, and right behind him, the Pistons could have grabbed Carmelo Anthony, then Dwayne Wade, or Chris Bosh. Instead, they chose Darko Milicic. He was just 18 years old and barely tested against elite competition. The hype was huge. Scouts loved his size, mobility, and European finesse game, but once he landed in Detroit, he became a clear fast. Darko wasn't ready. He struggled to crack the rotation on a veteran Pistons team that was already a contender, and when he get his minutes, he looked completely out of sync. In his rookie season, he averaged less than 2 points a game, barely saw the court in the playoffs, and became the league's ultimate what could have been picks. The Pistons won a championship in 2004. Yes, Darko technically got a ring, but his contributions was so minimal it's almost funny. After Detroit, he bounced around to 6 more teams, never averaged 10 points a season. His career lasted 9 forgettable years, and every time fans look back at 2003, Darko's name comes for all the wrong reasons. The league and the Pistons probably wish the draft card would vanish. Hasheem Thabeet. In 2009, the Memphis Grizzlies made one of the strangest draft decisions of the decade, picking Hasheem Thabeet, number 2 overall. He looked like a defensive monster on paper. Memphis thought they were getting the next great shot blocker, a franchise anchor in the paint. Instead, they got a big man who couldn't stay on the floor. Thabeet came out of UConn with a reputation for rim protection, and yeah, he could block shots in college. But offensively, he was raw and the league was already shifting towards perimeter play. The Grizzlies took him over James Harden, Steph Curry, and DeMar DeRozan, names that would go to define the next generation of scorers, while Thabeet struggled just to catch passes and stay in the rotation. His rookie season, just 3.1 points and 3.6 rebounds per game, and that number never really improved. By year 2, he was getting demoted to the D-League, the highest ever draft pick sent down at the time, a clear sign Memphis realized quickly they made a mistake. After bouncing around teams like Oklahoma City, Portland, and Houston, Thabeet was out of the league by 2014. His name still comes up as cautionary tale every time a team considers drafting for size over skill. Next, Adam Morrison. In 2006, Morrison looked like a future star. He just led the nation in scoring at Gonzaga, rocking a signature mustache and playing with a fiery motion that made him a fan favorite. The Charlotte Bobcats, desperate for a face of the franchise, took him 3rd overall, right after Andre Bargnani and LaMarcus Aldridge. The hype was real, but Morrison's NBA career never got off the ground. Right from the jump, it was clear his college game didn't translate. He struggled to create separation, couldn't keep up defensively, and his once automatic jump shot stopped falling. He averaged 11.8 points as a rookie but shot just 37% from the field. Rough numbers for a guy known as a scorer. Then came disaster, a torn ACL in the preseason before his 2nd year. That injury completely derailed his development. When he returned, the Bobcats were already moving on. He got traded to the Lakers in 2009, where he won 2 rings, sitting at the end of the bench, a surreal twist for a player whose career had to quickly flatline. By 2010, Morrison was out of the NBA entirely. Next, Greg Oden. He was supposed to be Portland's next franchise anchor, a 7-footer with soft touch, shot blocking instincts, and dominance written all over his scouting report. In 2007 draft, the Blazers took him number 1 overall, choosing him over Kevin Durant. Felt like the safe pick at the time. You would build around the big man, right? Then injuries hit immediately. Oden missed his entire rookie season after a knee surgery. When he finally stepped onto the court in year 2, he showed flashes, 8.9 points, 7 rebounds per game. But every time he got momentum, something broke down. He played just 61 games that second year, and by the next season, knee issues sidelined him again. Portland kept waiting, hoping, but Oden's knees just couldn't hold up. By 2012, after multiple surgeries, Portland officially waived him. He attempted a short-lived comeback with the Miami Heat in 2014, but appeared in just 23 games before quietly fading from the league. Next, Nikoloz Tskitishvili. In 2002, the Denver Nuggets took a gamble at number 5 overall, drafting a lengthy 7-footer from Georgia. At the time, NBA front office were obsessed with finding the next Dirk Nowitzki, a tall, skilled European forward who would stretch the floor and dominate mismatches. The problem? Tskitishvili wasn't that guy. He barely played the highest level in Europe before drafting and looks more like theory than a finished product. Denver fell for his size and shooting potential during workouts, but once the games counted, realized set in fast. In his rookie season, Tskitishvili averaged just 3.9 points while shooting a brutal 29% from the field. And that shooting never improved. He looked overwhelmingly physically and mentally unable to defend or keep up the NBA's pace. By year 2, he lost his spot in the rotation. By year 3, he was getting traded. By year 4, he was out of the league. His final career averages 2.9 points, 1.8 rebounds per game across just 172 appearances. He quickly became the poster child for why teams started getting cautious about drafting mystery men of potential alone. Next off, Michael Olowokani. In 1988, the Los Angeles Clippers held the number 1 pick and decided their future was going to revolve around Michael Olowokani. On draft night, this pick felt like the Clippers chasing traditional big men to build around, even though the Candyman was a late blooming prospect with a thin resume. The numbers look okay at first glance. He averaged over 20 points, 11 rebounds his senior year, but that was against mostly mid-major competition. Scouts were divided, but the Clippers went all in. What they got back was rough. Olowokani played 5 seasons with the Clippers and never averaged more than 12.3 points or 9 rebounds. His offense game lacked polish, his hands were unreliable, and he struggled to anchor defense at the NBA level. Injuries piled up too, and by his 6th season in the league, his reputation at this point was cemented. Adding to this embarrassment, the Clippers could have drafted players like Dirk Nowitzki or Paul Pierce instead. But by the time Olowokani left the NBA in 2007, his name was shorthanded for draft regret. Next is Jonny Flynn. In 2009 NBA draft is legendary, most because of who the Minnesota Timberwolves didn't pick. At number 5, they took Ricky Rubio. Fine, makes sense. Then at number 6, when Steph Curry's still sitting on board, they doubled down and picked Jonny Flynn. Flynn had impressed at Syracuse with his speed, toughness, and leadership, but his college resume didn't exactly scream franchise changer. Minnesota envisioned a 2-point guard lineup, Rubio and Flynn running wild together, but never materialized. Flynn's rookie season actually showed him promises, 13.5 points and 4.4 assists per game, earning him all-rookie second-time team honors, but that wouldn't turn out to be the highest point. Injury derailed him immediately. He needed hip surgery after year 1, and he never regained his burst or agility. By his 3rd season, his minutes had plummeted, so had his production. After just 2 years in Minnesota, he was traded. 1 year later, he was out of the league. Next off is Kwame Brown. In 2001, the Washington Wizards made history, and not in the way they'd hoped. They took Kwame at number 1 overall, making him the first high school player ever picked first. And overseeing that pick, Michael Jordan himself, then running the Wizards front office. Kwame was seen as a physical marvel at just 19, 6'11", 248 pounds, athletic, long, and little potential. But the leap from high school gyms to NBA arenas was brutal, and the pressure of being MJ's top pick didn't help. Early on, Kwame struggled with confidence and development. His rookie year, he averaged 4.5 points and 3.5 rebounds per game, playing limited minutes. Things didn't get much better even as his role expanded. Inconsistent hands, poor footwork, and lack of polish all stalled his growth. By his 4th season, Washington moved on, traded him to the Lakers, where his name quickly became synonymous of unrealized potential. Even Kobe Bryant years later openly vented about playing alongside him. Despite all the criticism, Kwame carved out a long career, 12 seasons, mostly as a role player and journeyman, but never lived up to the number one pick expectations. Jimmy Fredette. In 2011, Jimmer Mania was real. Jimmer Fredette lit up college basketball at BYU, leading the nation in scoring over at 28 points a game, bombing three-pointers from absurd distances, and capturing the imagination of fans world nationwide. The Sacramento Kings jump on the hype, traded for him at number 10 overall. The problem, the NBA isn't college. The defense limitations showed right away. He struggled to guard quicker, stronger players, and his size, 6'2", didn't help. His trademark deep-range shots didn't translate either. Defenders closed out faster, and his release wasn't quick enough to compensate. As a rookie, he averaged just 7.6 points per game while shooting 38% from the field. The Sacramento Kings kept giving him chances, but by year 3, his minutes has evaporated. His confidence clearly dipped as the game sped up around him. In 2014, the Kings cut ties, and from there, Jimmer bounced around to Chicago, New Orleans, a brief Phoenix stop, and nothing stuck. His NBA career ended with averages of 6 points per game over the next 5 seasons. So after all that, which draft bust do you think stings the most for their team? Or is there one of the leagues really doesn't want us to remember that we didn't cover? Drop in the comments. We're ready for some draft day horror stories you won't find in the history books. If you like this content, please subscribe to our channel for more Hoops Arena.